Welcome to Elder Zen. Hit subscribe for simple health tips made just for seniors. Stay tuned. Your next great day starts here. Now that we've set the stage and acknowledged just how deeply a pulmonary embolism can shake a person's world, let's move together into the very first days and weeks after survival, a time that can feel confusing, overwhelming, and sometimes unexpectedly lonely. For many seniors, the journey home from the hospital brings a sense of triumph, a quiet victory that says, "I made it. I'm still here." Family and friends might celebrate, bringing flowers or warm meals, eager to see you back where you belong. You might even feel a rush of hope, imagining that life will slip back into its familiar, comforting patterns. But as the days go by, it's common to discover that things don't fall into place quite as easily as you hoped. The truth is, surviving a life-threatening event doesn't flip a magic switch. Instead, it often opens the door to an emotional roller coaster, a ride with ups and downs, unexpected turns, and moments that catch you off guard. Let's talk about some of those feelings. First, there's relief, a deep, almost physical gratitude that can bring tears to your eyes when you think about what you've just survived. Every meal tastes a little better. Every hug feels more precious, and even the sound of the birds outside your window takes on new meaning. Many survivors talk about this sense of rebirth, of wanting to make the most of every moment they've been given. But almost as soon as that relief sets in, another feeling may start to creep in: anxiety. Suddenly, the world feels less predictable. You may notice yourself checking for symptoms, monitoring your breathing, your heart rate, the smallest sensations in your legs or chest. For some, every little ache becomes a possible sign of danger, a question mark that never quite goes away. You might find yourself Googling symptoms, calling your doctor more than usual, or feeling afraid to be alone even in your own home. And then, there's something many people are surprised to feel: a heavy cloud of sadness. After surviving a pulmonary embolism, it's completely normal to feel down. Even when everyone expects you to feel nothing but lucky, you might mourn the loss of your old routines or worry that you'll never get back to normal. You might feel frustrated by new medications, follow-up appointments, or changes to your lifestyle. And you may wonder if anyone else could possibly understand how complicated it all feels. What makes this time even harder is that, from the outside, you may look perfectly fine. Friends and family may expect you to bounce back quickly, not realizing that your mind is still healing. You might find it difficult to explain your emotions, or feel guilty for not being more positive when everyone says how fortunate you are. But let's pause and remember, every feeling you're experiencing is valid. Healing isn't just about your body, it's about your mind and spirit too. And that means giving yourself permission to feel everything, even the hard stuff. It also means reaching out when you need support. Talk to your doctor about your feelings. They've helped many others walk this same path. Consider joining a support group where you can share your story with people who truly get it. Even a few words with a counselor or trusted friend can lift a huge weight off your shoulders. Most importantly, remind yourself every day that recovery is not a race. Some days will be easier and some days will be tough. But each day is a new opportunity to heal, to rediscover your strength, and to celebrate your progress no matter how small it seems. As we move through this series, we'll explore specific ways to manage anxiety, build resilience, and rediscover joy after a health crisis. But for now, know that you are not alone on this emotional roller coaster. Many seniors and their families are riding it with you, each of you bravely facing the unknown and learning, step by step, that life after a pulmonary embolism can still be full of meaning, connection, and hope. Let's keep going, and together, we'll find our way forward. Let's gently move deeper into the journey. Because while the early days after a pulmonary embolism can feel overwhelming, the weeks and months that follow are just as important and often even more complicated emotionally. If you or a loved one has faced this challenge, may have noticed how worry and hope can take turns at the steering wheel, shaping every new day. It's important to recognize, first and foremost, that anxiety after surviving a pulmonary embolism is not just common, it's almost universal. Even the most positive, resilient seniors may find themselves lying awake at night, listening for changes in their heartbeat or breathing, feeling a twinge in their leg, and wondering, could this happen again? These moments can sneak up when you least expect them, during a quiet afternoon, while reading a favorite book, or even in the middle of a conversation with friends. Sometimes, anxiety shows up as restlessness or irritability. Other times, it looks like avoiding activities that once brought you joy, just in case they might be too much. So how do you manage these aftershocks? The first step is acknowledging them with patience and kindness towards yourself. Know that these feelings do not make you weak or pessimistic, they make you human. One helpful strategy is to create small routines that anchor your day. This could be something as simple as a gentle morning walk, a cup of tea at the same time every afternoon, or taking 5 deep breaths when you start to feel worried. Routines provide a sense of control when so much else feels uncertain. Another powerful tool is information. Learn as much as you can at a comfortable pace about your condition, your medications, and your warning signs. Ask your doctor questions and don't be shy about seeking clarity. The more you understand what's happening in your body, the more confident you'll feel. And remember, there is no such thing as a silly question when it comes to your health. For many, building resilience after a health crisis also means opening up to others. You might find support in places you didn't expect. Perhaps a friend who also faced a scary diagnosis, a neighbor who checks in regularly, or a group at your local community center. Sharing your story, even a little at a time, helps lighten the burden and can spark new connections. Sometimes, the simple act of saying out loud, "I'm scared sometimes," can ease your heart and remind you that you're not alone. It's equally important to look for small victories. Maybe you walked a little further today than yesterday. Maybe you remembered to take your medications, or you called a friend instead of isolating yourself. Celebrate every positive step, no matter how tiny it may seem. These wins add up, and over time, they help rebuild your confidence and joy for life. Finally, don't hesitate to ask for help when you need it. Mental health is just as crucial as physical health, and talking with a counselor, therapist, or even your family doctor about your feelings is a sign of strength, not weakness. Sometimes, a few sessions with a professional can offer coping strategies, reassurance, and a safe space to process your emotions. Remember, healing after a pulmonary embolism isn't a straight path. It's a winding road with bumps and detours. But each day brings you closer to a sense of normalcy, to rediscovering the activities and people that make your life meaningful. And as you keep moving forward, you may find that your journey inspires others, to showing friends, family, and even strangers that it's possible to face fear, build resilience, and reclaim a vibrant, joyful life after surviving something so serious. So take a deep breath, give yourself credit for every bit of progress, and know that brighter days are always ahead. Let's keep this conversation going and explore more ways to thrive body, mind, and spirit after a pulmonary embolism. Now, as we continue this journey, let's talk about something that often surprises people after they've survived a pulmonary embolism: the shift in perspective that comes with facing such a serious health challenge. For many seniors, there is a period of reevaluation, a time when you begin to look at life, relationships, and even your daily habits through a new, more appreciative lens. At first, it's only natural to be a bit more cautious. You might find yourself hesitating before making plans or feeling nervous about being far from home. Small decisions, like going for a walk alone or joining a group activity, can feel loaded with questions. But gradually, as your confidence grows, something remarkable often happens. You begin to rediscover the things that truly matter to you, and you approach them with greater gratitude. It's important to recognize that joy after a health scare is not only possible, but can be even deeper than before. Many people report feeling a renewed sense of wonder at simple pleasures, a cup of tea in the garden, the sound of laughter from grandchildren, the satisfaction of preparing a favorite meal. These moments, often taken for granted before, now shine with a quiet brilliance. And let's be honest, some days will be harder than others. There may be setbacks, days when old fears resurface, or when your body just doesn't cooperate as you'd like. On those days, it can help to remember how far you've come. Keep a journal, jot down small victories, or even record a voice note to yourself after a good day. These reminders of your resilience will lift you up when you need it most. Connecting with others is another powerful way to reclaim your sense of purpose. Sharing your experiences, either with close family or within a support group, is more than just comforting, it's inspiring. Your insights, your courage, and your honest reflections can light the way for someone else walking a similar path. It's incredible how the act of reaching out, even in small ways, can turn pain into purpose and vulnerability into strength. Don't forget that life after a pulmonary embolism can be a time of new beginnings too. Perhaps you'll try a hobby you've always put off, or you'll prioritize travel, art, or learning in a way you never have before. The reminder that life is precious can serve as a powerful motivation to finally chase after those dreams, however modest or grand they may be. And for family members and friends who are supporting a loved one through recovery, your presence makes a world of difference. A listening ear, a gentle reminder to move or rest, a shared meal, or a hand to hold during medical appointments, all these acts of kindness help smooth the path and ease the emotional load. Above all, let's remember that while surviving a pulmonary embolism may mark a turning point, it does not define the rest of your story. With time, support, and a willingness to embrace both the challenges and the blessings, you can build a future that is not just about survival, but about living fully, richly, and bravely. So as we move forward, let's carry with us the lessons learned, the joys rediscovered, and the connections strengthened. Each day is a new opportunity to write the next chapter, and your story, with all its ups and downs, has so much more to offer. Let's keep exploring together how to make every day count, finding hope, healing, and happiness at every turn. As we reflect on the emotional journey after surviving a pulmonary embolism, it becomes clear that healing isn't something we have to do alone. In fact, one of the most profound changes many people experience after a health scare is a renewed appreciation for the power of community, whether that means close family, old friends, or new faces you meet along the way. After a serious illness, it's common to feel isolated at first. Maybe you worry that others won't understand your fears, or you hesitate to burden them with your thoughts. But reaching out, even in small ways, can make all the difference. Sometimes it starts with something as simple as a phone call to a relative, an honest conversation with a neighbor, or a friendly chat at a local club or community center. These little moments of connection remind you that you are not alone on this path. Support groups, whether in person or online, are also an invaluable resource. There, you can share your story with people who truly get it, others who have walked a similar road, faced the same medical jargon, and know exactly what it feels like to wait for those follow-up test results. Listening to the experiences of others can help ease your own worries and give you fresh hope. Just as importantly, your story can help someone else, offering reassurance, advice, or even just the comfort of knowing they aren't the only one struggling with certain fears or frustrations. Family and friends play a vital role too, not just in the early days of recovery, but in the months and years that follow. They can be your champions, encouraging you on days when your energy is low, joining you for a gentle walk, or helping you stick to healthy routines. Sometimes they notice changes, like a return of symptoms or subtle signs of anxiety before you do. Keeping those lines of communication open helps everyone feel more secure and less alone. And let's not overlook the unique perspectives seniors bring to the table. You've weathered storms before, learned how to adapt, and probably already know a thing or two about resilience. Sharing those life lessons perhaps with grandchildren, younger neighbors, or new members of your support group can be a source of pride and purpose. It's amazing how offering guidance to others can, in turn, strengthen your own sense of hope. For caregivers, too, this segment is for you. Your encouragement, patience, and presence matter more than you may realize. Remember to care for your own well-being as well, taking time to rest, seek support, and connect with others in similar roles. Let's also recognize that connection can take many forms. It might mean joining a book club, participating in gentle exercise classes, or volunteering your time and wisdom in the community. Even regular check-ins with your healthcare provider are a form of connection, ensuring you're never left wondering alone about new symptoms or side effects. As we move forward, let's celebrate the relationships that lift us up, the communities that catch us when we stumble, and the simple truth that we're stronger together. Whether you're reaching out for help, offering it to someone else, or both, you're building a safety net that protects not just your body, but your heart and spirit, too. So if you've survived a pulmonary embolism or love someone who has, don't underestimate the value of connection. Let others in. Share your worries and your victories. Join a group, reach out to a friend, or lend a hand to a neighbor. Every act of connection is a step toward greater resilience, renewed joy, and a healthier, more hopeful tomorrow. Let's keep this spirit of togetherness alive as we explore more ways to support one another, because, truly, community is the heartbeat of recovery and lifelong well-being. Let's turn our attention now to an aspect of recovery that often goes unspoken: the journey back to confidence. Surviving a pulmonary embolism is a tremendous victory. But as you've probably realized or watched someone close to you realize, there's often a long road ahead, not just for the body, but for the mind and heart. The question is, how do we move forward after such a frightening event? How do we learn to trust our bodies again, to find joy in everyday life, and to truly believe that brighter days are possible? First, it's important to acknowledge the wide range of emotions you might experience. It's perfectly normal to feel a sense of vulnerability, perhaps even a lingering fear that another health scare might be waiting around the corner. Some people notice they're more cautious, checking for symptoms more often, or hesitating before joining activities they used to enjoy. If this sounds familiar, know that you're not alone. Many survivors share these same concerns, and admitting them is not a weakness, but a wise step toward healing. So, how can you begin to rebuild that sense of self-assurance? Start small. Give yourself permission to celebrate every win, no matter how modest it may seem. Did you take a walk around the block today? Did you laugh with a friend or sleep soundly through the night? Each of these moments is proof of your resilience and a foundation to build upon. Over time, these daily victories help restore faith in your body and its ability to recover and thrive. Another powerful tool is knowledge. The more you understand about your health, what caused your pulmonary embolism, how your medications work, and what signs to watch for, the less mysterious and overwhelming the future feels. Take an active role in your care by attending regular checkups, asking your doctor questions, and even keeping a simple health journal to track your progress. This kind of proactive approach replaces fear with facts and gives you a sense of control. Routine is also a trusted ally. Many survivors find that setting regular times for medication, exercise, meals, and rest helps ease anxiety and creates a steady rhythm to the day. When your schedule includes healthy habits, it's easier to spot small, improvements, and maintain a positive outlook. And if a setback comes, as they sometimes do, remember that one difficult day doesn't erase all the progress you've made, of course. Rediscovering confidence isn't just a solo journey, something you can do together with family, friends, or a community group. Maybe you join a gentle yoga class or a support circle for people who've experienced blood clots. Maybe you become the friend who gently encourages others to keep moving forward, sharing what you've learned along the way. Every act of encouragement, whether given or received, helps chip away at worry and replace it with hope. And finally, don't forget the importance of patience and self-compassion. Healing, both physical and emotional, is rarely a straight path. There will be ups and downs, days of energy and days of rest, moments when you feel brave and others when you feel unsure. That's all part of the process. With time, the fearful memories fade, and in their place grows a deeper appreciation for every sunrise, every shared smile, every simple pleasure you get to enjoy. To everyone listening or watching today, know this: confidence can return, often stronger than before. Every story of survival is a reminder of the incredible strength inside. Each of us strength that carries us through the darkest moments and into the light of new beginnings. So take heart, move gently but surely forward, and remember that with each step, you're writing a new chapter, one filled with courage, hope, and, above all, the confidence to keep living fully, one day at a time. Now, as we move deeper into this conversation, let's talk about something many people underestimate on the journey of recovery: the incredible power of support, both given and received. Surviving a pulmonary embolism is not something anyone should have to face alone, nor should you have to tackle the emotional aftermath without someone to lean on. In fact, as countless survivors have discovered, one of the most healing forces in life after a major health scare is the reassurance and companionship of a caring community. You might wonder, what does community mean in this context? For some, it's the loving encouragement of family members who check in regularly and gently nudge you toward healthy routines. For others, it might be a spouse or close friend who sits with you through your first anxious doctor visits or simply listens as you voice your worries. Sometimes, support comes from unexpected places: a neighbor who invites you for a short walk, a grandchild who shares a joke and brings a smile, or even an online group where strangers become friends through shared experiences. Let's take a moment to appreciate just how transformative these connections can be. Imagine you're having one of those days when the fear creeps in and you find yourself replaying old worries or wondering if you'll ever feel normal again. On such a day, a single encouraging phone call or a warm cup of tea shared with Imagine your warm cup of tea shared with someone who cares can be the turning point. Suddenly, the weight of anxiety feels lighter. And you're reminded that you're not alone in this journey. But it's not just about receiving support. It's also about giving. Many people find that once they begin to regain their strength, they want to reach out and help others walking the same path. Maybe you join a support group for PACE survivors and share your story, your setbacks, and your triumphs. Maybe you become an advocate in your local senior center, talking about blood clot prevention or simply being a friendly face for those who need it most. Every time you offer reassurance to someone else, you reinforce your own sense of purpose and resilience. Let's also talk about the role of healthcare professionals. Don't hesitate to lean on your medical team, not just for physical treatment, but for emotional support as well. Your doctor, nurse, or even a hospital social worker can be invaluable resources, guiding you to counseling, rehabilitation programs, or local resources designed for seniors recovering from serious illness. If you ever feel your worries are too much to handle alone, reach out. Asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. It's also helpful to remember that community can take many forms if you're more private or have limited mobility. Consider keeping a journal or starting a gratitude practice. noting the acts of kindness and support, big or small, that you experience each day. Sometimes, the process of writing down your thoughts and memories can remind you just how far you've come, and how much support truly surrounds you. Even if it's sometimes easy to overlook, as we close this segment, let's remember, life is richer and healing is deeper when we travel the road together. If you're a senior listening now, don't shy away from reaching out, accepting help, or lending a hand to others. If you're a caregiver, friend, or family member, know that your support matters more than words can say. Together, we create the safety net that makes recovery possible, turning a moment of crisis into a lifelong story of resilience and hope. So, as you move forward, cherish your connections, share your journey, and let community be both your anchor and your wings. That's how we not only recover, but truly thrive hand in hand, heart to heart, every step of the way. As we continue this journey together, let's pause for a moment and focus on something deeply personal: your emotional recovery after a pulmonary embolism. You see, while medical treatments and support systems play a critical role, there's another piece of the puzzle that's just as important: learning to find hope again, even when fear or uncertainty lingers in the background. Let's be honest, facing a life-threatening health scare can shake your sense of security to the core. It's normal, even expected, to feel a swirl of emotions. You may experience relief and gratitude one moment, only to be caught off guard by anxiety, sadness, or even anger the next. Some people find themselves replaying memories of their hospitalization or worrying about every new ache or pain. Others might feel hesitant to go out, travel, or even exercise, fearing a recurrence. If any of this sounds familiar, please know, you are not alone, and you are not weak for feeling this way. But here's the good news: healing doesn't mean forcing yourself to just move on. In fact, one of the most powerful steps you can take is to acknowledge your feelings, whatever they may be. Maybe you find it helpful to talk with a trusted friend or family member, sharing your worries over a cup of tea or during a gentle stroll. Or perhaps you prefer to write in a journal, giving voice to the thoughts and emotions that sometimes feel too big to carry alone. Let's also consider professional help, because there is absolutely no shame in seeking guidance from a counselor, therapist, or support group. These caring professionals can teach you proven strategies for managing anxiety, processing your experiences, and setting realistic, hopeful goals for the future. Sometimes, simply hearing another survivor say, "I felt that way too," is all it takes to break the cycle of isolation and fear. Of course, recovery is rarely a straight line. There may be days when you feel stronger and more positive, and others when old worries resurface. On those days, it's important to be gentle with yourself. Remember, resilience is not about never feeling afraid, it's about continuing to move forward even when fear is present. Each step, no matter how small, is a victory worth celebrating. Another helpful practice is to focus on what you can control, rather than what you can't. You may not be able to predict every health twist and turn, but you can create new routines that support your emotional and physical well-being. Maybe you join a local class, learn a new hobby, or simply make it a habit to step outside each morning for fresh air and sunshine. These small, mindful choices are acts of courage, helping you reclaim a sense of normalcy and joy. Finally, never underestimate the healing power of hope. Remind yourself of the challenges you've already overcome, and look for opportunities, no matter how small, to celebrate progress. If you're comfortable, share your story with others. By opening up, you not only help yourself heal, but also inspire those who may be walking a similar path. So, as we wrap up this segment, I want you to remember, every emotion you feel is valid. Every step you take toward healing is a testament to your strength. And no matter where you are in your journey, hope is always within reach. Lean into it, nurture it, and let it guide you forward. Because your story isn't just about surviving, It's about truly living with courage, connection, and confidence. As we draw this important conversation to a close, let's take a deep breath together and reflect on just how far we've come, both in this video and for those who have faced and survived a pulmonary embolism in your own journey of healing. It's easy, in the aftermath of any health scare, to focus only on the challenges. But I invite you right now to recognize your courage, your perseverance, and the steps, large and small, you have already taken toward reclaiming your well-being. Every experience, no matter how daunting, teaches us something about ourselves. Maybe you've discovered a new strength you never knew you had. Or perhaps you've learned the true value of community and connection, those friends, family members, and even healthcare providers who stood by your side. Each of these realizations is a stepping stone, building a new sense of confidence and self-trust that will serve you for years to come as you continue moving forward. Remember that healing is more than a destination. It's a journey made up of thousands of moments of choice. Some days will feel easy. Others may be difficult. There may be setbacks, unexpected feelings, or doubts that creep in. And yet, every time you choose to show up for yourself, to take your medication, to go for a gentle walk, to reach out for support, or simply to rest when your body asks for it, you are, in your own way, turning surviving into thriving. Let's not forget the importance of celebrating progress. It doesn't matter if your steps are big or small, visible to the world or known only to you. Each time you share your story, each time you let yourself laugh again or look forward to something new, you are inspiring others in ways you may never realize. Sometimes hope is built quietly, one day at a time. If you are someone who has felt isolated by fear or uncertainty, please know that your experience matters. You are not alone, and the feelings you've had along the way are valid. This community, right here, right now, is a place for honesty, for sharing, and for learning together. If today's video has brought up questions, worries, or simply a desire to connect, I encourage you to leave a comment below or to share your story with someone you trust. Your voice can be a light for others, and if you're watching as a friend, a family member, or a caregiver, your support is vital. Sometimes, just listening with an open heart, offering a word of encouragement, or helping with daily routines can make all the difference. Together, we can create a network of care and compassion that empowers every senior to feel safe, understood, and hopeful about the future. Before we go, let's carry forward a spirit of gentle determination. Make it a point to celebrate each victory, no matter how small. Reach out for help when you need it, and never underestimate the healing power of sharing both your challenges and your successes. Healing doesn't mean returning to the way things were. It means finding a new sense of balance, meaning, and joy in the life you have now. Thank you for trusting me, for investing your time and your attention in this journey. If you found this video helpful or comforting, please consider sharing it with someone who might need it, subscribing for more supportive guidance, and joining our growing community of resilience and hope. Your journey matters. Your healing matters. And most importantly, your future full of purpose, connection, and possibility awaits. Until next time, take care of yourself, stay open to new beginnings, and remember, you are never alone. The best days can still be ahead, one gentle step at a time. Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, your mind racing after a close call with your health? Maybe you're staring at the ceiling, wondering how life changed so quickly. One moment, everything was fine, and the next, you were fighting for your life in a hospital bed, surrounded by anxious faces and beeping monitors. If you, or someone you love, has survived a pulmonary embolism, you know this experience isn't just a medical story. It's an emotional journey, a chapter that often begins with relief, but can quickly turn to confusion, anxiety, and questions you never expected to ask. Let's pause for a moment and really consider. what it means to survive something like a pulmonary embolism. For many, it's described as a second chance, a wake-up call, or even a miracle. There's gratitude, of course, a deep sense of appreciation for every breath, every sunrise, every hand that reaches out in support. But if we're honest, survival is just the first step. What comes after the days, weeks, and months of recovery can be just as challenging as the medical crisis itself. It's normal to feel a whirlwind of emotions after such a frightening ordeal. Maybe you're relieved to be home, eager to get back to your routines. But then, perhaps, you notice things aren't the same. You feel more cautious, maybe even fragile. Small aches or twinges can set off a wave of worry. Is it happening again? Am I safe? You might avoid certain activities, sleep less soundly, or find your thoughts circling around the what-ifs. It's not just your body that needs healing. Your mind and spirit need care too. And yet, this side of recovery often gets overlooked. Doctors and nurses do an incredible job treating the physical emergency. They dissolve clots, monitor oxygen, adjust medications, and celebrate the moment you're stable enough to go home. But what about the invisible scars, the lingering fears, the mood swings, the uncertainty about your future? Too many survivors, especially seniors, are left to navigate these feelings alone. Believing that feeling down or worrying too much is just something they have to live with. But here's the truth: it's a psychological impact of surviving. A pulmonary embolism is real, and it matters. It doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. It's a natural response to a life-threatening event, and acknowledging it is the first step to real, lasting recovery. Whether you're a survivor, a caregiver, or someone who loves a survivor, understanding these emotional ups and downs is key to moving forward, not just to surviving, but to truly living again. In today's conversation, let's create space for those quieter struggles. Let's talk honestly about the hidden side of recovery, the worry, the sadness, the moments of anger or frustration, and the hope that slowly returns with time and support. We'll explore the most common psychological challenges after a pulmonary embolism, from anxiety and panic attacks to depression, social withdrawal, and even post-traumatic stress. More importantly, we'll talk about the tools and strategies that help how to seek support, rebuild confidence, and find new meaning after such a profound health scare. You're not alone in this journey. Across the world, countless people are facing the same mix of emotions, many of them afraid to speak up, afraid to be seen as a burden, or afraid that no one will understand. But by naming these feelings, by giving them space, we take away their power to isolate us. We build bridges to our loved ones, our communities, and to others who know exactly what we're going through. So as we start this exploration together, I invite you to listen not just with your ears, but with your heart. Maybe you'll recognize your own story in these words. Maybe you'll hear something that gives you comfort or sparks a conversation you've been needing to have. And if you're a family member or friend, this is your chance to better understand and truly support the survivor in your life. Because surviving a pulmonary embolism is about more than healing the body. It's about learning to trust life again, to let go of fear, and to embrace the future with courage, one step at a time. Are you ready to explore this journey together? Let's begin.